President Goodluck Jonathan pledges to change status of Maritime Academy Oron and complete Baka Seaport project if voted for second term. PDP standard flag bearer Udom Emmanuel advocates training for rural dwellers and use of card reader technology. Plus, Civil Service Sanitation Committee decries laissez-faire attitude of some public servants to monthly cleanup of government offices. We have details in just a moment. Good morning and thanks for joining us. My name is Augusta Essien. President Goodluck Jonathan says the status of the Maritime Academy in Nigeria, Oron, and the completion of the Baka Deep Sea Port in Akwa Ibom State will be priority projects if voted for a second term. President Jonathan, who spoke while addressing a presidential campaign rally in Akwa Ibom International Stadium, Uyo, said his administration will also extend railway to the state. Etienne Oibanga covered the rally for AKBC 45 News.
Addressing the rally, President Jonathan said if voted for a second term, his administration will resurface all federal roads in Akwa Ibom State. The president said he came to Akwa Ibom not to campaign, but to of love and solidarity to his administration and not to disappoint Nigerians if voted into power. While acknowledging Governor Godswill Akpabio's visible developmental stride, President said when more sense of democracy will be recorded in the state and country. He explained that why PDP governors are succeeding in Nigeria is because the party does not believe in the federal government interfering with governance at the state level, but provides freedom for governors to do what is right for the people. Mr. President called on those clamoring for change to define what change they will bring to bear in governance, noting that PDP government has moved Nigeria forward.
The Maritime Academy in Oron, and I promise you that I will review the status of that institution. Thank you. The Baka Deep Sea Port must be a reality. All the federal government roads within the state, we believe that in the next 4 years we will resurface all the roads. PDP! Power to the people!
The Vice President, Architect Namadi Sambo, gave pass mark on the Akwa Ibom International Stadium and lauded the Akwa Ibom administration for replicating the federal government's transformative agenda in Akwa Ibom. Architect Sambo acknowledged the federal government's effort in the power, education and agriculture, stressing that government has reduced food importation and encouraged local consumption.
In only 4 years, Mr. President has constructed and developed 120% full of the power infrastructure in Nigeria.
While welcoming the campaign trail, Governor Godswill Akpabio assured President Jonathan of Akwa Ibom people's support in next month's election, saying that propaganda will not prevail against the success of Mr. President. Chief Akpabio, who doubles as the chairman, PDP Governors Forum, said Nigeria cannot go backward and recounted the achievements of President Jonathan, which have qualified him for a second term in the education, power, agriculture, rail, road, human empowerment and other sectors. The governor hinted that Mr. President has proven that education is a tool for fighting insecurity, illiteracy and understanding governance, promoting peace and growth of a Nigerian child. Chief Akpabio argued that there are certain offices that require basic qualification and good track record of performance. Hence, it was necessary for anyone who wants to become a civilian president to have a clean educational record to be able to plan for the future of the nation.
Of distraction, we will say you have done well. In the power sector, we say we have done well.
Oh yes.
In the agriculture, we say you have done well.
Yes.
You have revived our well, and therefore you have done well.
Oh yes.
You have done over 25,000 kilometers of road. You have done well.
Oh yes.
We are saying in the area of human empowerment, from the WIN program to other programs, you have done well.
Yes.
Mr. President, Nigeria will move forward. We will support you. We will go with you. Nigeria will support you. Christians and Muslims.
President Goodluck Jonathan has held to the choice of Mr. Udom Emmanuel as the PDP governorship candidate in the coming elections and has sued for support for him and other PDP candidates. The president bared his mind at the Uyo Traditional Rulers Council chambers when he paid homage to Nsobumuyo and current chairman of the Akwa Ibom State Council of Chiefs, Edem Silas Akpan, to formally inform Akwa Ibom royal fathers of his second-term bid after the PDP presidential campaign rally in Uyo. Edem Masanganye was there. His report is presented in our studios. We like to apologize for the unexpected break we had there. It's due to some technical hitches we're experiencing here. We will like to take this bulletin without the firm insert and promise you that in the evening some of those will be brought to you. Just before the break, we told you that President Goodluck Jonathan has held the choice of Mr. Udom Emmanuel as the PDP governorship candidate in the coming election and has sued for support for him and other PDP candidates. The president bared his mind at the Uyo Traditional Rulers Council chambers when he paid homage to Nsobumuyo and current chairman of the Akwa Ibom State Council of Chiefs, Edem Silas Akpan, to inform him of Akwa Ibom and to inform the Akwa Ibom royal fathers of his second-term bid after the PDP presidential campaign rally in Uyo. The campaign rally of the state PDP governorship candidate, Mr. Udom Emmanuel, took place yesterday in Nsribum local government area at the mini stadium of Alfiong, venue of the campaign. The team was received by women, men and youths of Nsribum as well as political groups. The governorship hopeful was accompanied by Governor Godswill Akpabio. The state PDP governorship flag bearer, Mr. Udom Emmanuel, has advocated training of rural dwellers on the use of the card reader technology, a machine to be used for the screening of permanent voters' cards during the February polls. Mr. Emmanuel was speaking at a one-day stakeholders forum on peaceful elections for political parties in the state. Ahead of next month's general elections, the Ket chapter of the People's Democratic Party has flagged off a door-to-door campaign with visits to villages in the area. The campaign team included the former Minister of Lands, Housing and Urban Development and former National Assembly member Chief Ndweso Essien, the chapter chairman of the party, Evangelist Godwin David, and the coordinator of the campaign team, Chief Christopher Song, as well as the former House of Assembly member, Barrister Jack Udota. Some of the villages visited were Ikorikbe, Ikorobiota, Ikorakbaukbong, among others. The campaign tour, which continues daily, is expected to cover all the 78 villages in the oil-rich city of Eket. Addressing the mammoth crowd of villagers that gathered at the Ikorikbe village hall to receive the campaign train, Chief Ndweso Essien, who expressed appreciation to the villagers for the warm reception accorded them, informed the people that he was in their domain to sensitize them on the forthcoming elections. He canvassed votes for President Goodluck Jonathan, the PDP governorship standard bearer in the state, Mr. Udom Emmanuel, Eket Senatorial District National Assembly candidate Chief Nelson Ifeong, and House of Representatives candidate Mrs. Owido Ikbotai, as well as the House of Assembly candidate David Lawrence. He assured the people that they will be better off under the PDP-led government, both from the national to state level. The former minister enjoined those who are yet to acquire their permanent voters cards, PVC, to endeavor to do so at the designated distribution center nearest to them in order to exercise their civic responsibilities, and those who have collected their PVCs to get hold of it. Worried by the current state of the village hall in Ikorikbe, Chief Essien offered to roof the building to make it conducive for the villagers to hold their meetings. Also speaking, the PDP chapter chairman, Evangelist Godwin David, the chapter coordinator of the 2015 PDP campaigns, Chief Chris Isong, The Vice Chairman, Eket Local Government, Mr. Victor Henry, and other stakeholders in the area enlightened the electorate on why they should vote President Goodluck Jonathan, Mr. Udom Emmanuel, and other candidates of the PDP during 14th and 28th of February polls. Responding, village heads, youth, and women leaders of villages visited commended the PDP campaign team, noting that the PDP is the only party that enjoys massive support from the grassroots. The PDP in the state has effected some adjustments in rallies in some local government areas. A statement signed by the chairman of the Publicity Subcommittee of the PDP Campaign Council and Commissioner for Information, Mr. Nika Numana, indicates that the rally in Ini and Ikono will now take place on Monday, February 2, 2015. Also, Abak and Isianudim will host the campaign team on Monday, February 9, 2015. According to the statement, the changes are due to some national engagements of the party. The campaign council regrets inconveniences the changes might cause. The Commissioner for Agriculture and Natural Resources, Mr. Godwin Afangide, has applauded the NDDC and Vika Farms Limited for complementing the efforts of the state government in making youths self-reliant through agriculture. He recalled that the Akpabio administration, in making youths employers of labor, had introduced the Integrated Farmer Scheme. The Commissioner therefore urged the participants to take the agricultural training as a step to secure their future through agriculture, and urged them to pay greater attention to whatever they might be taught. At the end of the 2-week training on agricultural entrepreneurial skills for farmers in Uyo, the participants were advised to ensure that the knowledge gained is put into practice for greater productivity. The program, which is sponsored by the Niger Delta Development Commission in collaboration with Vika Farms Limited for participants from the Niger Delta states of Edo, Akwa Ibom Delta, Bayelsa Rivers, Imo, Cross River, Ondo, and Abia. Addressing the participants during the closing ceremony, the Assistant Director, Department of Agriculture in the NDDC, Mrs. Winifred Madume, said the Commission is poised to contribute effectively towards the attainment of food security, which, according to her, is a critical component of national security. She said NDDC decided to choose Vika Farms as its training camp due to its intellectual resourcefulness, as it is involved in theory and practice of material production of abundant foods and services. Mrs. Madume urged the participants to use the knowledge gained in bettering their lot, as these will one day place them on the pedestal of employers of labor. On his part, the Managing Director of Vika Farms, Dr. Sipu Essien, appreciated the NDDC for its vision to train youths from the Niger Delta region on all agricultural components, and the state government for contributing to the success of the training. He encouraged the participants not to remain idle, but to put into practice what they have been taught, even at the smallest scale. The camp commandant and former scheme manager of the Integrated Farmer Scheme in the Ministry of Agriculture, Reverend Joseph Bassi, said the 2-week training has been intensive, as resource persons were drawn from the Ministry of Agriculture, universities, and experts in agricultural entrepreneurship. He listed some of the areas covered to include poultry production, fish farming, piggery and quality production, palm oil produce and processing, cocoa farming and production. Some of the participants bear their minds on the benefits of the training and pledged to extend their knowledge to others. The State Civil Service Sanitation Committee has cried the seeming laissez-faire attitude of some public servants to the monthly sanitation in government offices. The committee chairman, Mrs. Stella Itrokban, made her feelings known when she led members on inspection of government offices to monitor the level of compliance and participation in the January edition of the cleanup. Represented by a member of the committee, Mr. Basiu Webasi, Mrs. Echewopan frowned at the poor sanitation condition of offices visited, particularly the conveniences, where most of them were in very deplorable and unhygienic condition. At the Ministry of Justice, the committee expressed its disappointment that while some of the staff were involved in the exercise, others were totally indifferent. The committee advised the Director of Administration and the office manager to do more to ensure that they create more awareness among the staff and to mobilize them to participate more effectively in subsequent exercises. At the Akwa Ibom Rural Water and Sanitation Agency, located off Udaudoma Avenue, there were no signs of any activity, as the committee was told that most of the members of staff were attending a retreat outside the state capital. When the committee visited the Akwa Ibom State Water Limited Company Limited headquarters at Dominic Utuka Avenue, the managing director, Engineer Ernest Tusoro, told the committee that the company usually embarks on weekly cleanup of the premises and assured that the observed lapses in the conveniences will be corrected. At the Uyo Local Education Committee located along Wangiba Road, members of staff seemed not to be aware of the exercise as the policy of government. The committee therefore urged the office manager to henceforth put up notices to inform them few days to the last Friday of every month about the program. Meanwhile, the committee has again appealed to directors of administration in all government ministries, departments and agencies to show more interest in the conduct of the monthly exercise, as non-compliance by any government office may be interpreted as negligence and insubordination. You can also watch AKBC TV News online by logging on to akbconline.org or follow us on Twitter at AKBC45UU or on Facebook at AKBC Channel 45. And that's the news, but just before we go, we'll take a look at the top stories. President Goodluck Jonathan has pledged to change the status of the Maritime Academy Oron and complete the Baka Seaport project if voted back to power. He was addressing his presidential campaign rally in Uyo. That's a packet. Good morning.